name's Jonah Cordova. My wife's name is Sapphire Cordova. I have 2 kids with her, 2 boys, and 1 on the way. I was in Pueblo for a while and no work at all. I wasn't able to pay my bills or get diapers for my babies. Just kept feeling down, getting ready to lose our place and not quite sure where we were going to go again. And I talked to my friend that was up here in Denver, and he said there was a lot of jobs up here, so I came up to look for one. I really didn't have nowhere to go, and I was actually contemplating on staying on the streets just because I didn't want to give up the opportunity of actually finding a job. So I went down and talked to the case manager of Cold Weather Care and put me in the program.
When Jonah came the first week in December, noticed that he was really struggling through being away from his family. He left his wife and kids down in Pueblo to come up here and look for work. But the way the week unfolded, it was very clear that God was really working on his heart and moving things around and working through the people in the ministry to serve him and to build him up.
I really didn't believe in faith or God. Kind of skeptical about staying in churches. And I ended up over here at North Hills.
Well, the first time I met Jonah, my wife and I were going to serve at Cold Weather Care, and we've been looking for somebody to fill a position in our company now for about 2 months, and just really been praying that the Lord would just lead me to the right person. I remember at the time it was so strange. I remember thinking this guy would be great in the position that we're trying to fill in our business.
Jim had called me up and asked me if I wanted a job with him, and I had said yeah, and he told me that we could meet somewhere for an interview, and filled out an application with him, and he interviewed me and called me the next day and said everything came out okay.
And the next morning I came in the morning, and that's where God really moved some things. We had a couple of hours before church, so he pulled me aside and said, I want to share something with you, but I don't want you to be offended. I really want to go to church, but I'm also Wiccan. And I think he was maybe looking for a scared reaction from me or nervousness. And I told him, I said, you know what, let's not go back and forth on your beliefs, my beliefs. Would you be willing to go into church with an open mind and just let God talk to you? You know, you say you believe in God, let him just speak to your heart. And he's like, oh yeah, I really want to do that. I want to go in.
I was sitting here and Scott was preaching the word, and he had said something similar to, if you don't believe in God and you don't have any faith in your heart, you know, just want you to know that he's with you, and he knows that you're struggling, and he knows what you're going through. And I don't know if I let it go or if it left, but I just felt like the burden of everything that I had done was gone, and I just busted out crying. I don't know where it came from, but it just came.
To this day, I've not seen a man that broken, weeping the way he was, and just threw my arms around him and just cried with him, and he just apologized over, and I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I've made such a mess out of my life. I've been so angry with God for 10 years. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, and I've been mad at him. And I just said, you know what, Jonah? We've all been in this place. This is where that brokenness brings about surrender.
I gave it all to Christ, all my stress, all my worries of what happened before, my past, things I always dwelled on. just let them all go.
God has still continued to use people inside our church walls, outside our church walls. It's resulted in employment for Jonah. It's like watching a movie of many different lives at the same time.
My wife and I have just been so blessed, and we really look forward to the times that we're able to serve in cold weather care. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to them, but it's a blessing to us too. God's certainly working in our hearts, and it's just a pleasure to serve Him. You know, looking back on it, I have no doubt there was some prompting of the Holy Spirit too to just give Him a shot.
That's why I know that God is real, that He's out there, because He's got people like them. I found Christ.